Look, they have lied about me from the beginning. They said that I led a reconnaissance tour January 5th. Okay, I don't even think I was in the Capitol January 5th. And January 2nd, I brought my family into the Capitol as a member-elect with a Capitol Hill police officer. I had my 4 boys, my son, my mom, and my husband and my mom. So I'm sorry, sometimes he's like my son. But and, you know, and we're looking at this Capitol that I'm about to be sworn in as a member of Congress.
How do you guys fight the messaging, though? Because I covered all the election laws, the Georgia stuff, the Texas stuff. There was nothing racist in it. There was nothing against causing anyone to vote. These were things to make elections safer. An ID. You have to show an ID when you rent a golf club at mini golf. Like basic things. But the messaging all is that you guys are racist and you don't want people to vote and you're stealing elections. Like, how do you beat that thing?
If there's anything that's racist, it's vaccine passports. Because there's actually...
But you have to show an ID to get a vaccine.
Exactly.
Crazy.
Yes, you have to show an ID to get a vaccine. And then even in places like New York, it's more difficult to sit down in a restaurant and eat than it is to cross our southern border illegally.
Right.
You know, so I mean, this is absurd. So if they want to talk about identification being racist, well, let's flip it right back on them and talk about these vaccine mandates that are coming from the White House. This is something that is affecting people's livelihoods. I'm so proud of the nurses that have taken a stand, the Southwest pilots that have taken a stand. I know United had a victory with a judge that put a pause on this.
Wait, are you telling me that it wasn't just weather that delayed those Southwest? I heard Joe Biden, he said it was just weather. Yeah, it wasn't just weather?
Maybe it was Hurricane Brandon. I don't know.
It was Hurricane Brandon. It was definitely that Brandon guy.
Yes.
But even that, the way they blatantly lie. We all see what's happening on
You can look
Twitter.
at the weather radar
yourself. And somehow, could the weather only affect one airline? Is that possible?
Just one. Yes, other airlines had 2% of their flights that were canceled. Yeah. It's absolutely absurd.
But what do you do with that? I mean, I keep driving it home to this point, but like that seems to me the bigger issue than just that they can lie and get away with lies and call you the liar and me the liar and all of our audience the liar when they're always lying, but it seems to be working.
Yes. We have to have conversations like this. Joe Rogan just confronted CNN about taking so-called horse medicine, horse dewormer. He's like, no, you said this. Your company, who you work for, said this. CNN said it, and you didn't stop them. You didn't, maybe that was bad. No. But you didn't stop it. And that's what we have to do. We have to continue to call them out on what they're doing. Look, they have lied about me from the beginning. They said that I led a reconnaissance tour January 5th. Okay, I don't even think I was in the Capitol January 5th. And January 2nd, I brought my family into the Capitol as a member-elect with a Capitol Hill police officer. I had my 4 boys, my son, my mom, and my husband and my mom. So I'm sorry, sometimes he's like my son. But and you know, and we're looking at this Capitol that I'm about to be sworn in as a member of Congress, and Steve Cohen, chairman of the Bad Hair Caucus from Tennessee, he sees us in the hall, waves at us, and then goes on CNN and says I was leading a reconnaissance tour. Like, and they are able to lie and get away with this. And this is something my family has been attacked for, received death threats over. My mom has received death threats and even filed a lawsuit against a very notable influencer. He said that she was the bullhorn lady on January 6th. And the bullhorn lady, there's this woman with a pink hat, and she's got a bullhorn, and she's yelling, and she's like giving directions for people. We can't even find the bathrooms in the Capitol. Like, we can lead a reconnaissance tour and give people directions. And so you're right. They're able to lie all the time, and they absolutely get away with it. And we have to be there to expose the truth. I think we're created to recognize truth. And so if we keep putting that out there, more people will gravitate to that truth. You did.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah. No, I mean, believe me, it's the only way I could do what I do for a living. If you didn't believe that the truth matters, then I don't know how you could wake up and fight in Congress or talk about politics for a living. You'd basically go crazy. But then the other piece of that, which you sort of referenced already, is the big tech piece, obviously, which is now it's not only that they can lie, but their lies get injected with steroids.
Yes.
And our truth gets actually cut off at the knees because they won't let certain things get out. Now it's even worse.
Yes.
What do we do about that? Miss Congress.
Oh, man. Well, I need a majority to do something because Republicans aren't going to be able to fix this in the minority. There's no Democrat that's going to say, yeah, Republicans need a platform. They need to have this censorship removed so they can have more likes on Twitter. And, you know, it's so funny. We try to get something trending. We have the followers, but they don't see it. And then, you know, just after 7 minutes, Lauren Boebert is so dumb, will trend #1 all day long.
Yeah. No,
because it's allowed to.
Yeah.
Because they let it. So it's okay. I have fun with that stuff too. You know, I'm not dumb enough to think that $7 trillion equals 0. So try again.
Wait a minute. So you're saying if you spend $3.5 trillion, that doesn't equal 0?
Yeah, it doesn't equal 0.
It doesn't equal 0. Check my numbers over there.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Yes,
but that's another one. There
are antitrust laws for this reason. So these big companies, these big bullies, can't suppress the little guys, like they did with Parler. You know, that was getting too big for them, and we have to be in the majority to be able to do something. I know Jim Jordan is working on legislation, and I think that's where it's going to take place. I think judiciary is going to get to the bottom of this, and we're going to have some effective legislation to make sure Section 230 is gone, or at least these companies are broke up, whatever that means. I keep hearing they're going to break them up. I don't know exactly what that looks like, but to break them up, remove the liability protection, and make them accountable. Either they're a publisher or they're a platform. You have to choose one.
Yeah. Are you worried?
Don't get to be both.
Obviously, we've talked about this a lot, but are you worried that if you remove 230, that in essence they lose the protections and then they're just going to crack down on speech more because they're going to be liable, and then they're going to be like, all right, we got to get rid of everything. That
is absolutely a worry, and that's why you haven't seen just a blanket removal of Section 230. I think that's why you didn't see President Trump do away with Section 230, because there are details like this that we need to look into. But I'm really grateful that we have the Jim Jordans of the world that are looking into this. Judiciary, that entire committee, there are brilliant minds serving there, and they just need the numbers to be able to get their agenda passed. Yeah. They need to be able to get that out there, because right now everything is party lines. I mean, even something as simple as removing a $200 million earmark for the Presidio in Nancy Pelosi's district. You know, that's straight down party lines. Democrat says, no, she's the speaker. She deserves a little extra.
And she should get a little extra ice cream in her,
in
her Twinsy fridge and all that stuff. Do you ever think when you're at some of these hearings, like at this point when I watch, especially the big tech hearings, I watch them, and Jim Jordan does do a great job, and I've talked to him about it. But when I watch these hearings, it sort of feels like we're just watching a movie that we've all seen before. Yes, Zuckerberg will say some nice things and some things we disagree with. The whistleblower, you know, this whistleblower who really is a lefty activist, will sort of say some nice things, but then also became like a policy advocate for government intervention. That it's just like, there's a lot of talk. It's a lot of talk. It's sort of interesting at some level, and then it's kind of like, nothing ever really matters, because the next day starts, and here we go. Right,
because the Democrats won't allow any progress to be made, and they are in the majority. Congress is a majority rule body. We are a self-governing majority rule body. So Congress makes its own rules for what happens in those chambers, in those committee hearings, and the majority has the final say. You know, you have Leader McCarthy, who has offered up privileged resolutions to remove someone who can't get a civilian security clearance from the Intel Committee, Eric Swalwell, but he's allowed to have this security clearance in Congress on the Intel Committee, and they won't even hear it. They table the motion. They said, no, we're not even discussing this.
If you're looking for more honest and thoughtful conversations about politics instead of nonstop yelling, check out our politics playlist. And if you want to watch full interviews on a variety of topics, watch our full episode playlist, all right over here. And to get notified of all future videos, be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell.